Hi, this is Carolyn, and I'm here with Aaron, and my husband Mike is back with us again tonight. And we thought we would discuss how difficult it is to change strokes as an adult. Everyone on here has tried to do it. So, Mike, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me back. I think we all work on our strokes all the time and try to get better, but I hit a one-handed backhand. And I've done that ever since I started playing tennis again as an adult. In 2005, I picked up a racket again when I was in grad school, and this was when Roger Federer is at his height, and so he was my idol, and I'd watch him, and I'd go and hit the ball against the wall as a grad student just by myself, and try to figure out how he did it. So I started hitting one-handed backhand at that point, and then that just kind of stuck. So I've done that all through my adult tennis career. And then a few years ago, as I was sort of coming up and getting better and playing better competition, I noticed their two-handed backhands were so much better. They had so much more spin and power, and they seemed like they could return a hard serve much better with a two-handed backhand. So I started doubting my one-hander, whether I could hang with a one-handed backhand at a higher level of recreational tennis. And so I tried for about, 6 months.
Yes.
6 or 9 months to develop a two-handed backhand. And I had lessons with our pro, and I was, hitting the ball machine with it. And at one point, I think, Carolyn, you came out and watched the match, and you kind of said, you just need to pull the plug on that two-handed backhand. So I was not able. Yeah. It did not work. It did not work. So I put in all that work and effort, and it didn't take. I just could not do it. Literally, I could not change that one-handed backhand. So I just decided, this is who I am. This is how I play tennis. And so now I'm stuck with my one-handed backhand. Now I guess I'm stuck with it because I can't do anything else. Changing something that fundamental was impossible for me, basically.
Yeah.
And it just looked awkward when you were hitting it.
It felt awkward.
And because Mike has this beautiful one-handed, it at least looks good. I mean, I don't know how it works from like a tennis perspective, but it looks good. And then I watched him hit and then I watched him hit the two-handed, and it just didn't look right.
No, it did not feel right.
Yeah.
It would hit the fence. I mean, it was awful. It was really awful.
Carolyn, you were telling me the other day, so Carolyn has a she used to or currently has a two-handed backhand and a two-handed forehand.
Yeah.
Why did you start doing that?
Oh,
and I'll tell you, as an opponent, it's confusing because nobody knows if you're right-handed or left-handed.
Yeah.
And you actually have a really strong backhand, and oftentimes I stay away from your backhand. I don't know if it's more controlled or what, but even though you're a righty, I still sometimes hit to your forehand just because I've hit against you enough. But if I just walked on to a court and played a singles match against you, I don't think I could figure that out in the hour and a half that we might be out there hitting.
Yeah.
So how did you start that?
My wrist would hurt. And so that's the reason I did two hands, is because my wrist was hurting when I tried to hit one-handed, and I'm older, and I'm like, we've got to do what doesn't hurt. And then I tried to change rackets, and I got, I went to PT, and then all of a sudden my wrist felt better. So I tried to switch back to one hand, and I've been working on one hand over the winter, and it was starting to feel a little bit better. And then I went to play, hit a one-handed shot, and my wrist hurt again. And I just know I'm old, like I don't want to be in pain. Like the most important thing for me playing adult tennis is not to be in pain. So now I'm switching back to a two-handed forehand, but now I'm going to switch hands, kind of like what's the tennis player does? Shea Sue. I'm going to try to do that.
Shea Sue.
Yeah. So we're going to see. I'm doing a lot of changes.
What does she say?
She's like, switch is how she thinks.
Switch. That's what it is, not quick.
Yeah,
quick.
She switch.
Yeah.
She goes switch with her hands, which isn't, I mean, I'm having trouble doing it, but I'm just trying new things. But it's hard to switch. But Aaron, you switched different strokes, and it seemed to work.
Well, yeah, but mine really just went from, so when I started out, so I never ever touched a racket. I don't think literally I never played with a tennis racket. I never went on a tennis court and hit a ball as a kid. I don't know why. I did lots of other sports. I just never made it onto a tennis court. So when I started playing as an adult, I remember, you know, the first couple lessons were just like drop a ball in front of you, you know, hit low to high, you know, very, very basics, right? Like I was a child and he was teaching a child how to hit a tennis ball. And then I remember at the time that my backhand actually felt more controlled. Like I used to, Carolyn, you're never going to believe this, but my favorite stroke used to be my backhand. And I used to actually play ad all the time.
Yeah, that's
which is shocking because
Erin's
my forehand is definitely my weapon. But I think it was just having the two hands and just feeling like, I don't know, it just felt controlled for some reason. But then when I did finally start hitting a forehand and being comfortable with it, I hit super flat. So I would hit a lot. Either I would soar it into, you know, like hit it way, way, way out because I hit really hard because every sport I ever played, there was no finesse that I remember. So everything was like 1,000%. You know, whether it was like hitting a softball or throwing a football or everything was like, nothing was like touch, you know? Yeah. So I just hit really hard. That's all I knew how to do. So, and then our pro, so I hit everything flat. So I'd either hit everything out or I'd hit everything into the net. And when I was like at the back of the court, I would never think to like throw up a lob or I just hit harder and harder and harder. And so she told me one day, she said, you just keep hitting flat. And I said, I am not trying to argue with you. I absolutely believe what you're saying. You know more than I will ever know in a lifetime of tennis, but I feel like I am dropping my racket so low to hit topspin and not hit flat that I feel like I'm hitting the ground. And sometimes I can feel myself actually brush the ground with my racket. So I know my racket is low. And she said, okay, I'm going to film you. She filmed one stroke. Literally, she fed me a ball. She kind of fumbled with the camera. I was kind of making fun of her. She like had a ball, the camera, her racket, and she was like feeding a ball to me. She filmed me one time and I said, what? That's it? And she was like, yep, come here. Let's, take a look. What I was doing was I would drop my racket, almost hit the ground, and then I would bring it like up, and then I would hit like an L, if that makes any sense to people. So if you can visualize, I would drop it, I would bring it straight up, and then I would hit it flat. So it was literally like a 90-degree angle is how I was hitting. So as soon as I saw that on camera, I was able to understand, brushing more. And so I didn't change like a, one-handed two-hand or, two-handed forehand, two-handed backhand, but I literally changed my stroke. And so now, Carolyn, we've talked about it a million times, I can hit a ball that people think is going to sail out. Yes. And it will land on the baseline because it has so much topspin.
Yes. Yeah. It's beautiful.
And actually by doing that, then I was afraid I was going to lose my flat hard hits, but I think once in a while I can pull that out. But yeah, I have a lot more spin on my ball now, but it took filming myself, which is not fun to watch, but
changing that muscle memory is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Or seeing yourself do it. Like, did you ever try that? Try filming and then changing, or that's just, yeah.
Oh yeah. It still didn't work. It still didn't work. Yeah. I definitely tried. I tried to video everything. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I will say watching you, your one-handed looks so much better. Just watching.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I would never change that stroke.
I don't know if it's effective though. Is the
well, it looks good. Isn't that what it's really all about?
I'm like right, you, Aaron. Yes. I try to get to that. I try to get to that forehand as much as possible.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting. So, do you think that people figure that out when they're playing against you, Mike? Like, do they try to, like, I don't know how much you play singles versus doubles, or even in doubles. I mean, I can tell if somebody has a weak side and I'll try to hit to, whatever side of the court is their weak side. But do you think that people have figured that out?
I think so.
At the levels that you're playing at? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the better players definitely target the weakness of your game. And I definitely see that when I play the higher level players, they're definitely targeting that weak spot. So
are you playing deuce mostly? Like when you play like regular spring matches, do you play deuce and do you find people trying to serve you down the tee to your backhand?
It's interesting. I do normally play deuce, but if I'm playing someone that can target their serve down the tee on the deuce side, that's the hardest shot, is that one-handed return of serve. It's an inside out backhand to try to hit that thing cross court again. So if I'm playing
to get it away from the net person.
if I'm playing an opponent that can hit that T serve in a doubles match, like we play that first set and then we switch. Like I do not, because then they can target my backhand on the ad side, but that's a wide serve. Right. And I have all the angle of the court that I can work with. I can lob it easier from there because there's more court to lob into. But that T serve to a backhand for a one-hander, if you guys ever play one-handed, I don't know many women hit a lot of one-handed shots.
I know.
That's a really difficult shot.
Interesting. Carolyn, what are you going to do about your two-hander?
Yeah, I was going to say to Carolyn, I think, you've undersold what you're trying to do. You're going from a two-handed to a one-handed, which didn't work.
No,
and
it did not.
Now you're going back to a two-handed, but it's a completely different two-handed forehand. Your two-handed forehand is not the same that it was before.
Yes.
Right? I think you need to explain
I'm switching hands, but
so
that's the hard part because I think what happened to me was that my hand was on the bottom, so I could never do top spin.
Your right hand, which is your dominant hand, which you would normally, Aaron and I, we all hit a one-handed forehand with our right hand on the racket.
Yes,
you have your right hand and then your left hand above that, trying to hit a forehand.
Normally, yes, that's the way I did last year.
But now she's trying to switch to put her right hand on top.
Right hand on the
her right hand on top. It's as if she's a left-handed player hitting a backhand. It's like a left-handed backhand.
Interesting. And she tried to explain this on the phone the other day, and I did not understand it. But I'm getting
is anyone understanding this?
So her you have to really visualize. On her forehand, her right hand is on top now.
Yes.
And it's like a backhand for a lefty. And then if they hit it to her backhand, she switches, her left hand goes on top, and it's a regular left-handed backhand. But
that always the same, Carolyn?
No.
Was your backhand?
Backhand
was always the same, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so your left hand was on the top and your right hand was on the bottom.
Yep, just a standard right-handed backhand. Mm-hmm. That's a standard backhand.
Okay.
But now her forehand.
I didn't realize that I didn't think that I guess I always thought you switch. I thought you always did that. But you didn't. You just left your hands in the same position, and it was just whether it was on one side of your body or the other, your hands were always the same. Interesting.
Right. And now she's having to switch hands.
But I have to remember to switch is the problem.
There's a lot of thinking involved. Right
yes, now. So we played a doubles match and he's like, "Did you switch?" We played a mixed match and he's like, "How many times did you switch?" And I was like, 0.
Not a single time.
Not a single time.
Didn't hit a single forehand.
Thanks again to Mike for joining us. If anyone listening has been able to change their stroke as an adult and has any tips, please let us know. You can contact us on our website, which is secondservepodcast.com. We also have a section on our website called Resources where you can look at the rules and the websites that we look at. Thanks so much for listening and hope to see you on the courts soon.